All right. Let's see here. So who else we got? We got Chris Paul. Why did they talk to Chris Paul after this game? All right. She hit the thing.
Chris Devin said tonight was all about him staying confident. You know, he's had ups and downs, but he, trying to maintain confidence. That's what Mitch has been telling him. You guys encourage him with that also?
Yeah, I think that's the way you got to be in this league. You got to try to stay as even keel as possible and trust the work.
No one cares what. I'm trying to see what his shirt says. That's actually, you can look at the shirt and tell that's a nice quality shirt. That is a nice quality tee. I want it.
In your game is the fact that the Spurs tonight set an all-time NBA record for 200 consecutive games with at least 20 assists. Is that significant to you?
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, that's the way I played, my entire career, and playing against this team for a long time. It just shows the culture, and that's hard to do. It just shows.
That's why I always bring up, man. It is a well-oiled machine. So even when Duncan isn't here, right? The Spurs were able to go to the Western Conference Finals. Even when, I guess we'll see what happens with Pop. He optimistic that he'll be back next season, but let's just say he isn't, right? Let's just say Pop doesn't come back. We still have a really nice system thanks to him, right? Thanks to him, thanks to the front office, and they still operate the same way. Now, obviously, you're going to need a really good coach to make those in-game decisions, those certain lineups, matchups, whatnot, and be able to connect with the team on a personal level. Like, we'll have to get that. But thanks to Pop and the system that he's created, it's left behind a blueprint. I know DeJounte Murray said that he left us a blueprint. Thank you so much, DeJounte, for that blueprint you left. But in actuality, Popovich and Duncan's group, they left a blueprint on what it means to win. How do you win? You can always go back to that and see what worked with those teams, right? And yeah, so the culture will not change. I think that it will remain how it is, because it is from top down, front office to the coaches to the players. Everyone's bought in.
Goes it night in and night out, just sharing the ball.
Significant. Number 2 on the list is the Showtime Lakers.
Why y'all keep bringing up? You said Tony Parker's going to coach the Spurs. Somebody said Tim Duncan's going to coach the Spurs. Manu's going to coach the Spurs. What? First off, I don't want Tim Duncan coaching the Spurs. I think Tim Duncan's a horrible coach. Oh, girl, you almost fell. I think Tim Duncan's a horrible coach. All right. And I don't know how good Tony Parker would be.
Yeah, they won a lot of games though. So.
When young guys come into the league, how difficult or not difficult it is to teach them to play that way, to not just be score first and move the ball and.
Yeah.
Oh, are you a Nets fan? I'm sorry, man. Said my Nets front office really gave Nick Claxton $100 million, and he got washed by Biyombo. Sorry, man.
It's tough.
Tim Duncan's undefeated as a coach, though. Tim Duncan wasn't even coaching. He wasn't even coaching. That was Becky.
Especially now, you gotta watch. I think that's my advice to any of the young guys coming to the league now is you actually gotta get addicted to the process. And it's very time consuming. It's kind of boring, but you can't rush the process and you can't skip steps.
And it becomes second nature after a while. So
I think that's what happens a lot is, guys want everything right away and don't understand the time commitment that it takes, the sacrifice, on vacation during the summer, watching your clips and all this stuff. It's really hard. There's ups and downs. There's injuries. There's heartache and all that, but it's all part of the process. So, it's a journey. It's a marathon.
Do
you get the sense that, especially with just kind of everything that's gone on with
Tony Parker has been looking after his French team lately. He's been attending a lot of Spurs games, it feels like. If Parker wanted to be the Spurs coach, I will have my arms wide open to allow it. Like I have to say so. But I don't know. Me personally, I would like Steve Kerr if he ever becomes available, or I would like Messina if he would like to come back to the NBA, or Becky. Those are kind of my three right now.
this team this year, do you get the sense that the young guys in the locker room are absorbing everything that you just said?
I hope so. I think so. You have to ask them. It's just trying to always find an identity, figuring out how you're going to play a style of play. And I think Shea might have said in his post-game press conference, every time you step out on the court, I think he said it last night, you're just playing to win. It ain't for a stat. It ain't for nothing. It's just whatever I got to do to win the game. And I think we figuring that out.
You enjoy playing with Biz again?
Yeah, man. Biz is an unbelievable guy, man. I tell you, sort of the same situation when he came to our team in Phoenix. I think we went on an 18-game winning streak. We was 18-0 his first 18 games when he came to Phoenix. And Biz just a consummate pro. I think guys in our locker room are learning from him. You always wonder
I did not know that. Are we about to make the playoffs? Is that what Chris Paul is saying right now?
People say about you when you're not around, and Biz is, when B. Wright said we had a chance to get him, I said, well, I'm a little biased. So, yeah, I love Biz.
Chris, while Steph Castle was already stood out when he got here, seeing how far he's come in just these last couple of months, just wondering if he can, speak to where he is right now, and obviously just continuing to ascend.
He's looking really good. I think, it's always a process, learning the difference in this game and the college game, and especially as athletic and, strong as he is. I think he's starting to learn that, if he gets into the lane.
Oh, I see what his shirt says now that my cat is like bending down. It says, "No one cares, work harder." All right.
Lane and pass it and move it, that it'll come right back to him, but it's different. It's different when you get here and you drive in the lane and 6'10", 6'11 guys in there blocking shots or whatnot. But we've been doing a really good job lately of doing good to great as far as passing and moving the ball.
You see him assist to himself off Sharp's back.
Yeah. And then dunked it. You know what I mean? So he is definitely a freak of nature and should be in this league a long time doing that.
Sorry if you've been asked this since Pop. It was kind of the announcement was made that he would not be returning this season. Just want to get your thoughts on that, Chris. I know the conversation you had with Pop was integral in you coming here. So to have it work out the way it did.
Yeah, this is a great. Thank you for asking us.
Only played a handful of games for him, this regular season games for him. Just, this.
It's tough, man. But, as people always say, life is lifing. Things happen. Things happen that are bigger than the game. And so I think my relationship with Pop goes way beyond whether or not he gets a chance to coach me. And so just getting a chance to see him the other day was special. A lot of things aren't ideal. We didn't know that Vic would have the situation that he's had and all the different things, but there's a lot of gratitude.
I say this, and I don't mean this as like this is a good thing, okay? None of this is a good thing. But, with Popovich not being here and with, Victor Wembanyama dealing with what he's dealing with, I really do think that we're going to see a growth and a shift for, I guess we already have seen it, with Steph Castle and this group in general, right? The leadership of even some of the young guys, of Keldon. I think he's been a pretty good leader. I have my gripes about him for sure, but I think verbally, I think he's been good. Sohan being willing to just take on any role that the team asks of him, not complaining, putting his head down and fighting every single night. I think that's shows a lot of just character. I just think it's going to be no one seems like they're out there for themselves, right? It's kind of similar to what I saw with Derek White. Like when Derek White was super young, when he first got to the San Antonio Spurs and he would get garbage time, I would say, I remember going on Instagram and like lots of people, I used to go on Instagram Live all the time, and I was like, yo, guys, I think this guy should be the future point guard, not DeJounte. And so many people were upset about it. But honestly, what I saw was a player that not getting a lot of time, but when he does get his time, he's not sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to show you coaches that I deserve to be in the game. He's not out there being selfish. He would end the game, like play, let's say garbage time, 7 minutes or whatnot, 0 points. 0 points, 4 assists. And you look at his game, and there's a lot of nuance there where he was willing to do the extra small things, right? He wasn't in it just for his stats. He was just playing as a legitimately great point guard, a really good point guard, right? So, like, and I'm starting to see that with this team. No one out there is like, oh, Wemby's out. It's time for me to get my oh, it's time for me to put up points. Not really. It seems like the game is just naturally coming to everybody, and they're playing as a team. I think that shows a lot of character, and it shows that we are going in a direction that this is going to be a championship team. Just some of the main guys. Some of the main. I mean, obviously people are going to be gone, but yeah, I think DJ was very selfish, especially during the end of the 2021 playing game. He was so selfish. He was selfish throughout that entire season. Stats wise, everyone was praising it, but there were many games where I was arguing with the chat because people would say, what do you mean he hit the game winner? And I'm like, he wasn't giving it to the hot hand. Like other players were hot, and he elected to take it upon himself, right? Like that's not winning basketball. So yeah.
That comes with just being able to go out and continue to compete, and that's how I feel.
Aaron's going back to Sacramento. You've been in that situation. What? Any advice for him? Or?
Yeah, we're just in the locker room talking about it. I've been in that situation a few times.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox about to go to... Oh, that's Friday? That's Friday? Hey, Alexa, who do the San Antonio Spurs play next?
The Kings and Spurs are facing off on Friday, March 7th at 9 p.m. Do you also want to follow San Antonio Spurs to receive notifications about them?
No. Friday? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, this is going to be dope.
And this is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to sort of take it all, watch it all take place, especially with me not being the center of attention this time. But I think for me, he's a pro.
How are Kings fans going to react? I have no idea. A lot of times, well, I don't know, internet is real life. But sometimes there's a disconnect between like some people that you see on. I don't know how Kings fans feel about Fox. They shouldn't be upset. I don't really understand it unless I'm missing something. They're gonna lose their. You think they're gonna be angry? I guess I just have a hard time deciphering between, the squeaky wheels, right? The squeaky wheels get the oil, right? I have a hard time deciphering between the squeaky wheels and the majority. Just don't know. I don't know. I hope it's just a Reddit bubble. Yeah, maybe it's just an echo chamber. Is it echo chamber or echo chamber? It's echo chamber, right? Why did I say eco? Does it matter? Does it matter how you say it? Echo chamber, echo chamber, echo chamber?
Whatever his thoughts are, his thoughts. I know he is very familiar with that team, that arena, or whatnot. I just know when I was in those situations, all I wanted was my teammates to support me, and I think that's what we'll all do and try to go out there and make sure we get the win. Yep.
You love to see it. I hope we beat the brakes off of the Kings. I hope we beat the brakes off the Kings. That was good. That was actually better than a lot of the Chris Paul post games we've watched before.